So my presentation is titled Make Grading Make Sense. So I'm going to start with just a few questions. Once you know the answer, raise your hand, and the first person to answer, I'll call on them. If they get it right, they will get a piece of candy. So first question.
12.
Someone raise their hand. Cody. 12. That is correct. All right, next question. Getting a little bit harder.
That is 130.
That is correct.
Let's go. Quick math, baby.
Okay, final question. The hardest one. Solve for x.
I can't do this one.
7.
No.
6?
No.
It's gonna be easy.
Try to price it right.
Hold on, I got this. I got this one.
1. That is correct.
I was so close.
All right. So now I'm just gonna have you talk to your neighbor about these questions, and I'll just give you like 30 or 45 seconds to talk to someone around you about these questions.
Oh, okay.
It's almost like what I'm going for. All right. So for the first question, were all of them equal in difficulty? Kind of just everyone can answer. No, not really. And were the rewards the same for all of them?
Yeah.
Yeah, you just get one piece of candy. And was it more? Did it require more effort on the last question to get a piece of candy than the first question?
Yes.
Okay. So how does this relate to my project? You might be wondering why I'm just giving you random math questions in my presentation. But this kind of actually relates to the grading system that we have at Brighton, because there's far different difficulties of classes, yet on your GPA they're all going to have the same effect, and you don't get rewarded more for taking harder classes even though it requires more effort to do well in them. And in my interview with Miss Forbush, I learned that she thinks that getting a C in her AP US history class actually requires more effort than getting an A in her just normal history class. And this kind of shows a problem, because the person who gets an A in the normal class is going to have a way better GPA, even though they put in a lot less effort. So basically my solution for this would be to have weighted grades at Brighton. And the simple way to put it is weighted grades just give more incentives to take harder classes, because the AP and honors classes would be out of a higher GPA. So like an AP class could be out of 5, while a normal class would still be out of 4. And some of the benefits of weighted grades are they encourage more involvement in AP classes. And when I took my survey, I learned that 62.5% of students say that they've taken an easier class just because they know it will be better on their GPA and they can expect to get a better grade in it. And then the second reason is it allows students to have a higher GPA that can be seen by colleges. Because if you're applying mostly to an out-of-state college, you're getting compared to people who do have weighted grades. And at a first glance, it's gonna appear more impressive to a college if your GPA is out of 5 or 6 than out of 4. And then the final reason is it gives a way to reward students for taking more difficult classes. And it distinguishes between top students, because right now there's a large number of people at Brighton who are number 1. And in my amateur interview with Izzy Jones, she said that she personally knows people who have gotten a 4.0 GPA all of high school, really just because they've taken the easiest classes possible, and it doesn't really show that much initiative compared to people who've taken lots of AP classes and still gotten a 4.0. So my action plan, the end goal of the action plan isn't necessarily to have weighted grades, because that's kind of a long process that would have to go through the district, but more to make people aware of what they are and have the district start to think about considering implementing it. And so my first objective for that would have the counselors create a 10 to 15 minute presentation about weighted grades, And this would be like presented during flex, and this would kind of let kids understand what they are and give some of the benefits of them. And it would be helpful to let people kind of understand what they are before they make a decision on if they actually want them or not. And then the second thing would be to send an email to parents and students with a survey. And it would be similar to the survey I gave, but just shorter, basically just asking if they wanted weighted grades, any questions they had about weighted grades, just so it would be clear what the people wanted, because that would be more convincing to the district and encourage them to actually make a change. And then the final objective would be present findings to the school district, and the administration would do this, and they would also outline what steps would need to be done to eventually implement them district-wide. So, in summary, in an article I read from an administrator at the University of Connecticut, it said that the majority of schools in the United States actually already do weight some classes differently. So it's not super common in Utah at the moment, but nationwide it's more than half of schools actually do weight grades. And I think doing it in Canyons District could be a step towards more weighting grades and make it more fair for students. And that is my presentation.